Well, good morning. It's Friday morning, and today I'm going to record better part of a week's worth of these things, so it's going to look the same for a few days. I'm going to post them every morning, but I'm going to record them today. The reason for that is I'm going to the beach next week and hanging out with my kids, and I want to have more time, and I don't know what the situation is going to be exactly, so that's what we're going to do. Now, yesterday I said something about how in Hebrew poetry there was parallelism. We're going to see a lot of that in this psalm, Psalm 15. So listen for that. Lord, who shall sojourn in your tent? Who shall dwell on your holy hill? He who walks blamelessly and does what is right and speaks truth in his heart, who does not slander with his tongue and does no evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but who honors those who fear the Lord, who swears to his own hurt and does not change, who does not put out his money at interest, and does not take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be moved. So who is going to reside in God's tent? In other words, who is going to be accepted by the Lord into his kingdom at the end? It's going to be the honest, righteous person. Who's that? That's the person who doesn't do all of these things. And then they're listed. Who doesn't slander others, who doesn't do things that are vile, who doesn't lend money at interest and doesn't take a bribe. So the honest person who lives according to the law will be accepted, and that person will not be moved, will not be defeated, will not be pushed out of God's kingdom. That person will make it, will survive. It's a short psalm. It's barely more than, well, it looks like 2 sentences, and the first one goes all the way down to the end, to the word innocent. So it's a very quick psalm. Oh, there are a couple of sentences at the beginning. It's just 3 or 4 sentences, but the main body of the several verses is one long sentence. Now, again, you can do that kind of thing in Hebrew and in Greek. You can't do it quite so well in English, though it's done here very nicely. At any rate, so what is this about speaking evil about people? You know, there's a lot of that goes on in the world, and even in the church, I'm afraid. Sometimes in the church it happens under the guise of, oh, we're concerned about so-and-so, let's pray for them, and then we gossip. That's a bad thing. Or lending money at interest, that was seen in the ancient world as a terrible thing. You wouldn't lend money and charge interest for it. Now our economy is built on interest, and so we have a very different attitude toward money and interest and economy than the ancients did. Who doesn't take a bribe against the innocent. Of course, we have people who do that sort of thing all the time, too. So these are very contemporary warnings, I think, toward us about what we do and don't do. And we need to pay attention. Because the one who doesn't do these things that are unacceptable will end up dwelling, sojourning in God's tent on his holy hill. And so that's where they will end up. That's where we all want to end up. And so let's see what we can do about living blameless, honest, righteous lives. It's harder than it sounds. Okay, as I say, I'll record several of these today and post them over the next few days. But you have a great Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow.